skills have?
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, so I think that over the last year or so, things have become a bit complicated because the rules are still changing. We have I'm talking about immigration rules are changing very fast and very quickly because we have a new administration, and every new administration comes with its own attitude. So, and its own policies based on how he or she sees the world. So, this president is new, so it was expected that we will have some changes. But I think that the changes are, in this instance, a bit rapid, and sometimes when the policy comes, it takes a little bit of time for us to get a better understanding of what the actual policy is, what the intentions are, or whatever, and how we can navigate, um, the new rules or the new proposals or things of that nature. So when the H-1B thing first came, we were all very surprised and we were all very worried because for as someone who lives here and has lived here for a very long time, I know that international students, especially from our part of the world, they contribute a great deal to the education system of this country. Okay, I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
diversity is usually a good thing because when you have a country or if you have an organization and you have people from all walks of life advising you or participating or partaking in your economy, you get the best of everything. So when it first came, it looked like it was going to be a total block that because I think the proposal was that for every application you have to pay $100,000. And even
Mhm.
who were saying that you have to pay $100,000 every year. And I don't know any employer, even the big ones, they know how to
Yeah.
spend the money. So I don't think that they were going to kind of do that. So it was a very nervous time because we were all trying to figure it out. But I think as the interpretations and the actual intentions came out, it's not as bad as it seemed in the beginning because you see, what the rule is as it is now, as I understand it, if nothing changes, it applies to when an employer is going out of this country to bring someone from, let's say, India or from Ghana or something like that.
Okay.
Someone who has had no education in the US, right?
Okay.
So that 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 is the difference. So if you're going outside and you belong to certain industries, because my understanding is that it doesn't affect all industries, like doctors and areas where we have very critical need, that $100,000 doesn't apply. So if I was coming to Ghana to bring you here to come and work for me directly, then I'll have to pay the 100,000. If I bring you here to do an MBA, and once you graduate, I give you a job. You don't have to. We don't have to go through that $100,000. So that is the clarification. If you get some education here in the US, and the education is you can't come and do a certificate and then qualify, but if you come and do a degree here and you have a US certificate or you have a US degree, I should say, if you have a US degree, then the employer doesn't have to make that payment. Then you pay the old fees, which I think is even less than, it's not that much. It's not, including lawyer fees and all those things, it's not even $5,000. So that is that. So actually, I think that it should encourage more people to want to come in to go to school with the intentions of returning. But once they get here, if an employer was to file for you, I believe that it makes things a little easier. And I also think that there was a bit of abuse in the process where employers will not pick the person who came from Ghana to go to school here because that person may have some other responsibilities that the employer may have to cater to, but it will be cheaper for them to go to Ghana and bring the person. So now that going to Ghana to bring the person is kind of blocked, they will be forced to look within. So if you are educated here, you have a higher probability of finding a job because there are more H-1B, what do you call it, spots available because you're not competing with people who were trained in India or Pakistan or those other places. So that's the clarification. I think it's become a bit easier for those who come here to go to school and later on find an employer who is willing to sponsor them.
Apologies, viewers, listeners. I think we are having a network challenges. Mr. Kwame Nchi will hope will join very soon.
I'm still here. Yeah.
All right, welcome back.
Yes, thank you. I think the connection, but that is to be expected.
Okay. So I want to clarify this. Does it mean the HIB rules does not apply to international students?
The H-1B rules doesn't apply. The new H-1B rules doesn't apply to international students. International students who are educated, international student means you are an international person studying here. If you are already in the country and you've been educated in the country, then it doesn't apply to you. And actually, H-1B usually is for 3 years, and then your employer can renew for another 3 years. In some instances, when you're doing the renewal, you have to leave the country and come back. Even if you have to leave the country and come back, it still doesn't apply to you because you were educated here. So the point I was making that probably maybe at that time, I think the connection had gotten a bit bad was that it actually frees up a little bit more H-1B spots for people who are being educated in the country. So if you come from Ghana or someone comes from Zimbabwe or India or Pakistan or whatever, it used to be that they had to compete with other people still in their countries who want to come. And because they had been educated outside, the employers found them a bit cheaper to bring here, right? But if you're already here, then this frees up a little bit more spots for the people who are educated here. So it doesn't apply to all people.
Okay. Thank you very much for this clarification. So if you are listening, I hope by now you've gotten an in-depth understanding of the new H-1B rules. So my next question to you, Mr. Kwame Nchi, is that I've already mentioned the mission of Aspire Skill Hub. That's to break barriers, provide inclusivity, affordable and accessible pathways for students and professionals to excel both academically and professionally. But then I want to ask you, what inspired the creation of Aspire Skill Hub, and how does it align with the broader goals of Aspire Business Network?
Okay, that's a very good question. Thank you. So, Aspire Business Network started as a business consultancy. And that's what we still kind of do. And so we go into institutions and find ways to help them operate better. Or if you have an organization that is not doing well, we'll come in and try to help you turn that around. So I work with a bunch of very educated, very knowledgeable consultants. Okay. So that's how the business network portion was started. One of the responsibilities we got earlier on, I think it was 2011 or so, was a school that was having recruitment issues. So we sat with them and came up with a whole bunch of proposals, and they hired us to actually do it, to implement what we had suggested to them. Whilst we were doing it, then I saw different opportunities within that project. And Skills Hub was a product of one of those opportunities. I saw that we could expand outside of just that school because, usually when we're working on a problem, we realize that's not the only person going through that problem. Almost every university was having some recruitment issues. There were universities that had funding that they wanted to give to international students. They just didn't know how to go about it. There were on the other side of that equation, a lot of people, especially from Africa and some parts of Asia, who wanted to get education outside of their own countries, but didn't have the financial resources. Um, so the question that we had to struggle with at that time was how do we marry these two? How do we take those people who need the funding and give them to people who have the funding who can help them out? Because it's very difficult for you to just go online to try to find those things. You can spend eternity online trying to get these opportunities, but it's a bit difficult if you don't really know what you're doing. So that's what we did. We made it a bit easier for you to find a school that has the programs you want, the school that has the opportunities that you're looking for, and the school that you can afford. So that is how we came up with Skills Hub. Now, over the period of time, it's changed because people change and things change. And as we were discussing just a few minutes ago, government policy also changes.
Yeah.
And so we have to continuously tweak it just so that it doesn't become obsolete. So we started with a scholarship. Then we kind of realized sometimes you have to get government involvement because some of the schools, if there's a government backing or whatever, then they are more inclined to want to support. So in our in our case, we were able to get the government of Ghana to support some of our initiatives in 2000, and I think it was 2017, 2018. We got the
Okay.
we got Ghana's ambassador in the US to fly down to Michigan to assist us to expand one of our scholarships, for instance. And after that, when he saw how that was helping Ghanaians in the US and Ghanaians everywhere, then he hired us to go to other places to get opportunities. So we went to Eastern Michigan, where we will talk about this too as we go on. We went to Missouri Science and Technology, where we actually secured one of the biggest scholarship programs for Ghana. And in between, there were other things that we did just to make life a little easier for Ghanaians who want to study abroad. So yes, that is how Aspire Skills Hub came to being. We saw an opportunity, and then we saw another opportunity, and then we realized we could merge those two to create something that will benefit a whole lot of people. And as we were doing those things too, we were looking for other countries where we could also find some of those partnerships, and we were able to find those things because when, as I said earlier, when you identify a problem with one organization, it's very likely the competitors also have a similar situation that they're trying to deal with. It's the same thing with countries. If you go to Ghana, some of the issues we may have may be very similar to what like Nigerians are going through or what Liberians are going through or what Sierra Leoneans are going through. So we expanded it, and now we are able to recruit from everywhere in the world, including people who have gotten the opportunity to study in the US in a school where maybe they don't have a scholarship or their scholarships are running out. So they need a place that is cheaper. And so we are able to facilitate all those people. So I'm proud that we started this Skills Hub. It has helped countless number of people. And we've spent millions of dollars supporting these students. And I'm very proud of it. When I came here to go to school as an international student, honestly, even if I had a scholarship of $2,000, I would have been very excited. But I didn't have any scholarship, It would have made life a little easier for me, but um, I didn't have any scholarships. And I know kind of the struggles I went through. And I was even a lucky person because my parents were very supportive, right? But not everybody
Okay.
has the resources to be supportive. So I
Yeah.
could only imagine, and one of my guiding principles, one of the things that forces me to continue to work on this because it's not always rewarding. Sometimes the people you are trying to help will undermine you, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah, but one of the things that continues to inspire me and makes things a little easier for me to continue doing is because I have had students who, when when I was a student, I had classmates who had to drop out and become out of status because of just maybe $2,000 that they couldn't find. But we
Yeah.
provide more than that in funding for most of our students one semester. If you are an undergrad, for those people doing undergrad programs, we are supporting about $7,500 averagely, okay, per
Yeah.
semester. If you are a graduate student, I think the minimum that we are doing is about 50%. Now, sometimes you get a bit technical, but what we offer is 50%. Sometimes the school doesn't allow us to do that much because they may have other scholarships. So they want to spread the money so other people can get those opportunities. But yes, we are, I'm proud that we've been able to build something like this that supports a lot of people.
Wow, that's great. I mean, I've been seeing a lot of testimonies on your Facebook page, and yes, I can attest to it. So if you are watching us or you come across the video and you're looking forward to further education internationally, then Aspire Skill Hub is for you. So my next question to you, prior to this meeting, we have an engagement. You mentioned Aspire Skill Hub emphasizes on accessibility, affordability, quality, flexibility, safety in education, and skills training. So my question to you is that how do you ensure that these pillars are consistently met?
So let's go through them one by one. So say the first one, I go through it and then
Affordability. The
affordability.
first one is yeah,
Yeah, I think we just spoke about the affordability portion. We provide
yeah,
scholarships. About 99% of our people get some kind of financial incentive to go to school. Now, we have two ways we deal with our students, right? We have
okay,
the ones that are in schools where we have direct relationships with the school, okay?
okay,
And which means that we have an actual recruitment agreement with them. And I have never signed a recruitment agreement without having some concessions. So if I'm bringing you the students, I'm doing my own marketing, I'm identifying the students, I'm doing the pre-screening, I'm doing all these things. But when I bring them to you, you have to give them a scholarship, right? So
okay, wow,
that's one of the relationships we have. Now, some of the
okay,
relationships are scholarships, that are direct payments to the school. Some of them are discounts, which means they reduce the tuition for you, okay? And some of them are, we have a school in the eastern part of Michigan where our students pay what is it? They pay what they call in-state tuition, right? So there are
okay,
three categories of waste billing. Okay, they have in-state tuition, they have out-of-state tuition, they have international student tuition. Usually, the international student tuition is the highest. You pay more because you have not contributed anything to this country. You're just coming here to enjoy good education. Okay, if that's how you see it.
yeah,
And then the out of state is that you don't live in the state, so you don't pay state taxes, right? So you come in and
yeah,
you're also coming in to enjoy something you haven't contributed to. But the in-state tuition means that you have lived in the state and you have provided some resources to the state. And because of that, we've reduced your tuition for you. Okay. So our students in those schools pay in-state tuition as though they are residents of that state and that they've paid tuition in that state. So it reduces the cost significantly for those people. Okay.
wow,
And then we
okay,
have other places where we have other arrangements. The second way we go about things is we've been around the scholarship block for a long time. So we can get into a Harvard with a scholarship that you never dreamed that you could probably get, right? And we can get you into
yeah,
all these top tier institutions without you having to actually do the work. We help you do the work. So this is going to lead me into maybe I don't, because I don't know how you're going to ask the questions. Let me just go there, and if I'm answering too much, you tell me to stop because you want to get there in the future. But but
Don't worry, we need more information. So
yeah, so
okay,
we realized just a few months ago that one of the avenues that we were using to get scholarships for our students in the Ivy League schools was being closed because Harvard, Yale, and all these MITs, and they had scholarships for people from, let's say, a certain part of the world. But when
okay,
this new administration came in, they went after what they call DEI scholarships and DEI funding. So a lot of those avenues have been closed, right? But it doesn't mean that there's not another way around it because that money has now been shifted to where what they call the merit-based scholarship. You have to earn them. Okay.
okay,
So
yeah,
I sat with my team. We've come up with a way that you can still access, uh, the funding. So now the Aspire Skills Hub now has a whole suite where we what we call college prep. So we prep you
okay,
to be able to get into those schools with funding. We did a little research and realized that a lot of college prep doesn't start after you graduated from high school. It actually starts your junior year or your senior year in high school. We
yeah,
we we, we identify some students. You have to apply. Then we will do an assessment. We have a full-time person who helps people with shaping your careers and help advise, looking at what your interests are and all those things. They will look at it, and then they will come up with a plan to support you from high school all the way into going to college. Because you see, the thing is,
okay,
even the people who are born here who were dependent on what we call FAFSA, which is Students Financial Aid to go to
yeah,
school, even those people, the new administration, in trying to lower the budget, has eliminated a lot of the ways they could get money to go to school, right? So even if you're
yeah,
an American citizen, if you're not careful, you won't be able to afford medical school. The best way to do that is to prepare to get a merit-based scholarship because with that there's a lot of money, right? So we now have a process where we help people, even American citizens, even people who are not American citizens, even people who were not born here. We are now even supporting a group from Mexico. They don't even really speak English, so we're going through the English portion of it, and then we'll go through the other stuff so that they can get access to high quality education that they desire. Everybody, when I was growing up, there were things I wanted to do, and I'm very sure every child wants to become something, and that includes where they want to go to school, right?
yeah,
And
yeah.
and so we help the family access that dream without having to sell their home or you know give their retirement savings to their child to go to school. So that's the accessibility. We help you get access to the school. Now I'm waiting
Okay.
for the next one.
So talk about the quality. But before you answer the quality, please, I want to find out. Talking about the accessibility, does it also come with, let's say, after you've gotten access to the school, internationally you have to apply for your visa. How
Mhm.
does Aspire Abidi help when it comes to the visa processing, showing that you get accepted and you get your visa to the USA or any other country that Aspire works
Yeah.
there.
So we work with consultants, and
Okay.
because for me, I always tell people, right? I've applied for a visa once in my life, and I got it. So I'm not an
Okay.
expert
Wow.
in that. If you are counting on me to hold your hand and get you a visa, I don't do that. But
Okay.
we have lawyers on our team that we've partnered
Okay.
with who can assist in that. And we have consultants who also that is their field. And they all work with the Skills Hub to help you
Wow.
make sure that you put your best foot forward. The only
Okay.
person who can guarantee a visa, even the ambassador cannot guarantee a visa. The only person who can guarantee a visa is the president. So if you're
Yeah.
working with anyone who says, I can get you this visa, it's a lie. You should run
It's a
away.
lie.
Yes, you should run away. What can happen is that people with knowledge can enhance your chances of getting the visa by helping you put
Okay.
your best foot forward, right?
Okay.
I
Yeah.
think from my experience and from reviewing documents since 20, I think we started um, actively looking at these things from 2015, is that a lot of people, they have what it takes to get it, but someone advises them to misrepresent the facts. And when they go, they get caught. And a lot of people have relied on people to fill their forms and do different things for them that the
Yeah.
embassy has found out is not true. So they have been blocked, but they just haven't told them they are blocked. So you keep going and you keep getting rejected, you know.
Wow.
So we have a more comprehensive system of trying to understand where you've come from so that we can advise on how to proceed. Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay.
accessibility, we do help, but we don't guarantee, we don't take your money and promise you anything like that because that's not what we do. Our accessibility is making sure you get into the school. That we can guarantee to some extent, right? But as far as the legal parts of it, that's not what I do. That's not what we do. We
Yeah.
assist to make it better,
Mhm.
but we don't guarantee anything.
Mhm. That's great. That's great for me. So we move on to the quality of it. Yeah.
Yeah, we only work with universities that we can vouch for because nothing hurts more than going to a school and by midstream the school loses its ability to give degrees, for instance. I've seen it before. There's a university in Massachusetts that happened. Had a student there many years ago before this became a thing, and the school lost its ability to issue degrees. So you can go to the school, you still pay the tuition, your degree is worth nothing because it's not there's the word for it, it's not accredited. So you go to an
Accredited.
accredited school, yeah. So we make sure, I don't think we work with a school that is less than 100 years old. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, one of the schools we work with here started in 1840 something. So
Wow.
yeah, and so you can look at the school's history and have a good understanding. So this is going to be there. And you can look at the
Okay.
school's history and know that this is not going to be there, or this is just too risky. So if you're going to do a short course there, that's fine. But if you want a degree that will be respected now and in the future, then we do that assignment. We do that for you. Okay. We make sure that the schools that we are vouching for are good schools that will give you something that you can use wherever you go around the world.
Okay. Wow, that's great. So how flexible is this? Is it sorry? That's fast to how.
How flexible is what?
So you're moving on to the next pillar, that's flexibility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So um, we have our own rules, and the
Okay.
thing is that we are trying to be a sustainable brand that will be around for a very long time, so we can continue to help people. Okay. And we are trying to make it easy for people to understand because you see where we come from. There are so many people who are saying they're doing the same thing. Visa connection, I'll do this. I can give you a certificate, that type of. We don't do any of those things. So someone
Okay.
who doesn't want to follow the rules will say that we are not flexible.
No, you're too rigid.
We're too rigid. Yeah. But we
Uh,
just don't engage in illegalities. So
okay.
I would not lead you and hold a fake certificate that I know is fake and give it to a school that is taking my students based on my credibility because all you have is just one chance and one mistake. Okay, one mistake
Yeah.
and everything that you have is gone. Right. So I won't do that. Besides the fact that I know it's wrong, I also still will not lead a person that I know has a fake certificate and go and present it to someone. Okay. So in that
Okay.
aspect, we are very rigid. We want to make sure that we want to make sure that we are passing on the best people to our partners,
Um,
and that we are
yeah.
not, because if I take a fake certificate, Priscilla, if I want to help you one day, that fake certificate may have blocked that opportunity for you. So I wouldn't have been fair
Yeah.
to you. You get it?
Yeah.
So with that part, we don't play with. If you are writing a statement of purpose, we want you to write it yourself, because it is only when you write it yourself that you can
You
tell
can
them
defend it.
why you want to do it. But once you finish
Yeah.
writing it, we have people who will go through it for you and make sure that it meets the guidelines. So we are not going to sit there and write your own statement of purpose for you just so that you can get into the school, because that's not what we do. So if you are not willing to do any of the work, we are very rigid. But if you want to do the work and you want to succeed in life, then we are very flexible, because we actually tell you what you need to do, where you need to do it, when you need to do it. We give you the formula and we help you mix it up so that you get the best outcome. So very flexible if you mean business, very rigid if you just want to do something, and we don't do that at all.
Wow. I mean, that's the way to go. So I think the last one, the last pillar, you've already answered it, but probably you want to throw a little bit, I mean, light on it. That's safety. How safe is Aspire Skills Hub?
Mhm. I can tell you, I can tell you when we say safety, we're not necessarily just saying on the platform, right?
Okay.
But I can tell you the crime data in all the schools that we send our students to. Okay, I can tell you.
Yeah.
I can tell you how many um, bad things happen on the campus. Everywhere you go, like in heaven, Lucifer was kicked out for breaking the rules. So everywhere you go, you're going to find people who are trying to do something. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm not going to take you into the lion's den. We will look for the best, most safest school for you to attend. Like literally, I don't really do a lot of the day-to-day running of Aspire Skills Hub. I have very competent people who assist in that, right? But there are certain aspects of it that I am always keenly involved in, and safety is one of those things. My parents, when I was coming to America, I was young, okay? I was barely 20. And my parents, I got accepted into the two schools that I applied for. I wanted to go to the bigger one, okay? Because the limited information that we could access at that time, because there was no internet, no Instagram, nothing like that, was that it was a very nice school. They had a very good football team and they had parties. I wanted to go to that one. But my parents said, no, we will take you to the smaller one where the student to teacher ratio is low. You can have access to your teachers and you can do this. And if you are sick, you can walk to the clinic instead of having to wait for a bus and all those type of things.
That's,
It was only when I got here that I realized that was probably the best thing they did for me, because for me, if I'm going to a classroom with 400 other people, I'm probably not going to do well. But if I know my classmates and the teacher knows my name, it makes it easier for me to also go and say, I don't understand this, right?
yeah.
And that is the kind of relationship and the settings that I had. So I try to take people where they have access to these things too, so that I'm not just taking them into the mill and then they graduate and they don't have a classmate they can call when they need a job, or they don't know anybody from the school, or they don't even know the professor, or the professor doesn't know their name, you know. So we are very safe in the sense that we make sure that we are not going to put you in the lion's den. This week, remember when we started, you asked me my week. It was hectic because I had a student who had a medical emergency, and I had to drop everything I was doing to support that student. And this is how we run our company. It depends, regardless of where in America you find yourself, we are willing to support you. A few years ago, I had to drop everything I was doing to travel all the way to well, I didn't literally have to be there myself, but I had to go and have a lawyer bail someone out of jail, one of our students out of jail that was going through something that he didn't do. And it took like 3 months to get him out of jail because the person he was dealing with knew what they were doing. But we found out later on it was a setup. He was free. They apologized to him and he's doing his job and doing very well. So we make sure you're safe and we make sure we follow you. And when 99% of our students graduate, I say 99 because one person dropped out. Since we started, only one person has dropped out. It is because we assist them. If we bring you to one school and you're not doing well in that school, we will try to find another school for you to go to. We wouldn't just say, you're here and that's it. Right? And then about 95 or so percent of our students, they find a job after school. Right? And then we keep in touch with most of them. Just last night, in anticipation of this meeting with you, I was speaking to one of them just to get some understanding of how life was going for her and things of that nature. So we stick around, we do what we have to do, we do what we can do just to make sure that you are successful.
Wow, that's good. I think I've been on your um Facebook for a while, and I've been monitoring the testimonies. I mean, from the graduate students who had opportunity to get the scholarship from you. And I think some of the testimonies that they were saying, one particular one I want to forget is that was a lady, but I've forgotten her name, who posted that. I mean, you met her at the airport, and even you made sure she find her roommate. I mean, you helped her locate her room, and randomly you were just, I mean, bringing her provisions and stuff. I was like, whoa, this is so much sacrifice, and I was so much impressed
Yeah.
about that. So I mean, you are doing a great job as per Skill Hub, and we hope that most of the Ghanaians, I mean, will benefit from this opportunity. Yeah, so my next question to you, like you mentioned earlier, there are lots of educational consultancies everywhere, both locally, international. Like now, there are many everywhere you find yourself, you find a consultancy. But my question to you is that I want to know, how does, I mean, your work differs from all these consultancies across the world? How does your work and the things that you do differs from them? What makes you stand out from all of them?
Sure. Thank you. We have a comprehensive approach to the problem. Okay. I work
Okay, yeah.
I work with very knowledgeable people. So that the first one is the complete we understand what we're doing. Number two is we have very knowledgeable people. Number three is that we actually care. And the thing is, we want you to be successful. The person story that you just shared that we picked up from the airport,
Yeah.
we do that for 99% of our students. The people we don't pick up from
Oh,
the airports, yeah, the people we don't pick up from the airports are the ones we don't know, or the ones who they will tell
okay.
us we already have transportation. So that we don't do.
Okay.
Okay. If
Okay.
when you are coming, most of our students we assist with accommodation. Okay. We have had students who just
Yeah.
and we're like, but we've been emailing you, let us know when you are coming. And they say, I don't have a room. We've we've literally booked hotel rooms for people, courtesy, like we
Oh,
Aspire
wow.
Skills Hub has sponsored those type of things before. I'm not saying this publicly so that people will go and do it because we probably won't have the budgets in the future to do that. But I am just saying that we have never left anyone in limbo. Okay. We never
Okay.
promise that you will get the visa. That one,
Yeah.
like I said, I haven't figured it out. But
Yeah.
everything else that you sign in the contract, we make sure that we live up to it. So one of the first things you will ever do with us is that we give you a contract that explains all the foreseeables, the things that we anticipate are going to happen. We will explain those things in the contract. And then you will sign it and agree that you're going to do that. And once you do that,
Wow.
you have an easy experience with us. If you don't do that, then really there's nothing we can do to help you. We had been doing the groceries thing since we started. We do hospital runs for our people where we can. We do even when they first come, not everybody wants you to go and buy the groceries for them. So it used to be that we give them a card to go shopping and go and buy a few things because we know, like when I come to Ghana and I'm coming back, I have 2 suitcases. You can't bring everything you need.
Yeah.
So once you get here, obviously the first few days you're going to need something. So we anticipate some of those needs so that we can be helpful to you. The new Skills Hub now has a lawyer, an immigration attorney that can help you navigate the complicated and ever-changing landscape, immigration landscape, right? We advise on how to get additional funding and finances for your school. As earlier
Mm.
explained, we make sure you are in a safe environment. And if not, we will advise. Sometimes we feel too involved, but I don't think we've had anyone, maybe you've had a few people who may not have appreciated our involvement in a sense, but
Mhm.
most people appreciate that. And honestly, if you are bringing your young child from 18 to about 30, it is important that you put them in the hands of someone who can be there for them because going into a new environment in itself for even an adult is not an easy thing. So you can only imagine that your parents send you and you don't know anybody there and you arrive on the campus and you're stuck, you have a problem. Where do you take it to? So I don't compare the Aspire Skills Hub to those other consultancies because we are not the same. I've never made the comparison. I've never looked at any one of them to say this is what we want to be like because there's absolutely no comparison. We are not just leading you to the money. We're not just leading you to the school. We are keeping you safe. We are assisting you to find internships, which we do.
Okay.
We are assisting you to find employment after school. We can't always guarantee all of, if I'm telling you to find a job and I'm helping you with your resume and you are not prepared when you're going to the interview, I cannot guarantee that because I cannot do
Yeah.
the interview for you. But I can get you the access. I mean, sorry, Skills Hub can get you the access, right? Right now, our platform includes, we have SAT. So if you want to come to school here, I suggest that you start doing the SATs sooner than later. So if you can try it in your junior year in high school or your senior year, it's good because it gives you an idea, okay? And then we can look at that score and start preparing you for a school that we know you can go to. So by the time you graduate,
Okay.
you have everything kind of done. Okay. I mean, last year, no, 2 years ago, it was during COVID. So I think it was maybe 2022. We had one of our students came all the way from Ghana to Dakota, and they even bought his plane ticket for him. He paid nothing.
Wow.
Yeah, he paid nothing. Now the guy was very brilliant. When he started school, then one of the professors said, "I like you. I'd like to work with you." So they also hired him on campus to assist the professor, which doesn't really happen a lot because he was an undergraduate student. He went to Prempeh College. And the professor, yeah, the professor hired him to teach his other classmates and was actually also paying him to do that.
Wow.
When he graduated with his um, undergrad, they gave him money to do his master's. The last time I spoke to him, he said he was almost done, and that now he's anticipating doing a PhD so that he can teach in that school. Do you think
Okay.
that after all this investment, the school will say we won't hire you? They will hire him
Mm.
and do his whatever they need to do for him to be able to stay. So these are some of the things we do, and this is why I don't compare Aspire Skills Hub with anybody else, because um, we are different in what we do, and we it's not a one-man show where I'm sitting here writing SATs and we are going to be teaching kids how to code. I'm not teaching the coding because I may even join the kids class to learn how to code because I don't know how to code, right? Or any of our other services that we are providing, I'm not going to be the one to do it. But if you really want your child to succeed, whether you live here in America, whether your child is a citizen, has a green card, or is international, we have a way to make that dream happen.
Wow, that's great. Listeners, if you are watching us and you have any question, you can, drop it in the comment section and then I will ask him. So my next question to you is that, being an international student is not easy. The process of even transitioning to move to a different country, getting there, cultural barriers, the loneliness and the challenges in exploring a new environment. What role does Aspire Skill Hub play in the lives of international students? What are some of the things that they do to support international students in their education and professional journey?
I think if if
You,
you if you listen to everything I've said, I've
yeah,
explained
you've
those things.
mentioned, yeah, you have,
But we never
yeah,
leave. Now, if you
inter-
are lonely, that one I don't know what we're going to do for you, you know. But sometimes too, when I came in the beginning, I was a bit lonely because that was the first time I had ever left my parents,
yeah,
ever left my siblings. And like I said earlier, I was actually a very young person when I came. And I lived a bit of a sheltered life. I was home, go to school, I had a routine, right? So it was a bit difficult in the beginning. However, I realized that when you get here, the schools usually make an effort. If you go to a school where they have strong international presence, right, they make an effort to connect people. So when I started, I didn't realize that's what the teachers were doing, but almost every single class I went to, they paired us into groups, study groups, right? But in the study group, you can make a friend. And sometimes those friends know the place more than you do. So the friend will tell you there's a soccer game today after class, and then you can go. Because I used to go to that one. I used to play, but here they don't play rough, and I had learned how to play rough in Ghana, so I was always red carded, and so I became a spectator most of the times. And then while you're there, you meet another friend who will tell you, "Oh, there's a party this weekend, and you got to think about it
that,
because yeah, you have to think about it because this place too is a very unforgiving place. You don't want to make mistakes as an international student. So, you need to know your boundaries. If it's probably not safe for you to be out beyond a certain hour or whatever. My situation was a bit extreme. My parents used to call me sometimes just to make sure I'm in the dorm, right? Just to
okay,
make sure I wasn't doing things and I wasn't going to different places and things of that nature. So yes, the loneliness, you can fix that. But the rest of the stuff, if we are helping you with financing, if we are helping you with legal issues, if we are assisting with groceries and taking you to places. I mean, one of our partner schools, every Wednesday, they give all the students free groceries. Now I'm talking about chicken, they are giving you eggs, vegetables, fruits, and all those things because that is what a local farmer has decided to do for the community. So
wow,
every Wednesday, I have been here for years, every Wednesday without fail. Even during COVID, when they said that we couldn't be in long lines, they were delivering the food in people's rooms. They will bring it to you every Wednesday. You get free groceries. That's one of the schools, not everywhere. But even in the other schools, if there's no one on
uh,
campus giving you free groceries, you have places where you can go to get assistance and get clothes and
okay,
get all those things.
wow, that's really interesting. Okay, so now let's move on to partnership. In your conversations, you've been mentioning that Aspire Skills have with institutions.
Yes.
So I want to know what role does this institution play in the lives of the student that you are bringing in the form of your client, let's say your client. So what role do these partner institutions play in the scholarships, in delivering scholarships to these, I mean, to your clients? Yeah, let me put it that way.
Yeah. So the schools that we have direct relationships with, we also have designated people we deal with. So first of all, the scholarship is very important because you can't even be in the school if you can afford it. So
Okay.
affordability is one of the roles they play, right? I can't keep you safe
Yeah.
if I live in Michigan and you are in our partner school in California. However, I can tell you who to go to when you have an issue. And if that
Okay.
person can't resolve it, they will call me and say, Kwame, your student is going through this. So what can you do to support? After this meeting today, I'm going to one of our schools here. It's called Lake Michigan to see some of our schools, some of our students. I just got a call yesterday, and she was very excited. She said she's been accepted into the nursing program because she was doing pre-nursing. I'm going to go see her and see how things have been going for all of them. I have quite a bit of students there. So I'll go, we can have lunch together. I'll see how they're doing and then see what other assistance we can provide, right? Because nursing school is very
Wow.
rigorous. It's very rigorous, it's very challenging, especially if you're new and you don't have a car, because it's going to start snowing. And if you have to be at your clinical site at 6 a.m., no one cares that it's snowing. You have to be there at 6 a.m. So that's a concept that she needs to understand. And that is one of the things that I'm going to try to help her understand. That, hey, you've done very well for getting into the program because you need a certain GPA, you are competing with a bunch of people, some who are omufriha. It's not going to be that easy for you to, just get into it. However, she got into it, which means I'm going to make sure that she doesn't blow that opportunity. So our partner universities, they keep us informed and they keep our people safe and they make sure that whatever we promised, our people are getting.
Wow. That's great. I mean, good to hear. So, like, as far as Skill Hub is more like a family. I mean, aside the scholarship and the trainings that they help, making sure that you improve in your academic lives and in your personal, in your skills and personal development. They also make sure that everything, like the transition and everything, runs smoothly for you. You feel like you belong to a family that you can share your idea, you can share your problems, and you get the necessary help. So if you are listening, I think Aspire Skill Hub is the best fit for you if you are looking to further your education internationally.
It's
So
not,
my
it's
next
not,
question, let's have,
it's not like a family. It is a family.
it is a
It is a
family. It
family.
is a,
Yes, because
it is a
because I don't I'm talking a lot, but the thing is, even when they graduate, I have been to my students' wedding before. So, that's how, and not to make this personal, when my father passed away, most of the people who showed up to support me were current and past students. So
oh
that's
wow.
just how it is. When I came to Ghana for the funeral, I saw students' parents there. Never met them before. But they came and said, "Oh, Mebani, this is my son, this is my daughter." And I appreciated that more than anything else because these are people I didn't know 4 years ago or 2 years ago.
Okay.
But because of the close community that we've built, right, that's what it's become. And you see, when my students do well and they get jobs, usually, not all of them, because the way the human brain works, sometimes for some people, I don't know, but usually I can call them and say, hey, this other student of mine is graduating, help them get a job where you work, and they will make it happen.
Wow.
So this is what we do. This is how we've been able to go as far as we've been able to go. This is why we are in so many countries now. You say you've been following our page. We've been
Yes.
sharing stories of countries where we are, and
Yeah.
it is very difficult to comprehend that just a few years ago, Ghana was the number one, but South Korea was number two. right?
Okay.
But how did that happen? It was just one person who appreciated what we did and brought in a lot of other people. Now, when COVID happened, then people started looking elsewhere because borders were closed, their kids had to go to school. So our relationship with South Korea kind of slowed down, but we are rebuilding that, right? One person who came through our program from Zimbabwe is now bringing the whole Zimbabwe to us. Okay, yes, I
Wow.
appreciate that. I just a few days ago, what our very first no, he was our second student from Angola. He called me and said, "Hey, I'm trying to get people to come and join the hub. So give me more information." I gave him, and I'm very sure we're going to get more people from Angola. I've never been to Angola before, and this is how the thing has been. People just telling others the good things that we are doing, right? Our services also
Yeah.
include job placement. So there are instances where we can actually directly place you in a job because we have like an arrangement with that organization. So yes, I really appreciate the people I work with, but I also sometimes feel very proud of what we have been able to do because it's not that easy, but I believe we are using our resources the right way so people appreciate what we're doing. Of course, you will never get 100%. I like to say this because even in heaven, there was Lucifer. So it's never going to be 100%. You always find one person or two people who influence negative thoughts and negativity. That there's nothing we can do because if I'm presented with a file and I can read it and see that we did everything we were supposed to do, I don't have a problem if the person wasn't too satisfied because it happens.
Wow, that's great. I mean, success is all about impacting, and that's what Aspire Skill Hub is doing. I can't wait to be part of this family.
You're already part of the family. You're already part of the family.
Okay. So my next question to you is basically about, I mean, technological advancement. There's been a rapid advancement in technology, and I want to find out how Aspire Skill Hub is integrating this emerging fields like the AI and the coding into its training,
Yeah,
the training that it offers to people. How do you, I mean,
yeah.
integrate
The
AI
the
into it?
new skills hub is going to be very I say this, right? That we want to partner Africa especially. But it's not just Africa.
Yeah,
We have people from Jamaica, for instance, and the pictures I'm seeing from Jamaica from the hurricane, very devastating. Our thoughts and prayers are with them. We have people from there. We
yeah,
have students from Jamaica and other parts of the world. What we're trying to do is, I realize that, let me use Ghana as an example. I don't hear AI in the conversation as much as I would like to. Okay. But our platform
mhm,
now is going to be doing something about that. Where if your school is not teaching it, at least we are teaching it.
yeah, yeah,
So you don't have to say that my school is not teaching it, so I'm not going to learn it. Right. I have kids. My kids are the ones now who tell me this is AI and this is not AI. They are learning it in school. They are in high school. So if the future job market is going to be a global market where you can live in Ghana and work in New York without ever stepping foot into New York, right? Then how can you be having an active discussion about whether you should braid your hair to go to school or not, and the other kids are doing AI and you don't know anything about AI, right? So we
yeah.
are trying to close that gap by using our platform. You can bring your kids to that platform to learn something about AI at any age, and we will be able to do that. We have coding for kids because they need to learn how to do that. Okay. When I was going to speak to you, one of the things we were trying to do was to see how we could stream this on multiple platforms, right? Because I don't have the know-how, it was very challenging. A very young person that I work with came in within like 2 minutes. I knew what to do. So there's nothing like it's too young for the child to learn how to code, or nothing like it's too young for the child to learn AI. If you give them all the training in the world and you don't teach them these skills, you are training them to fail. Amazon just this week laid off 14,000 people in one day
Oh,
and replace them with AI and robots. This is going to be the trend. Okay, whoever tells you that AI is not going to be a challenging thing for employment is lying to you. All right, it's going to be it's going to be worse than what the internet was some years back. Because even in my capacity as the person who runs Aspire Business Network and the Skills Hub, I don't feel like I even need a personal assistant anymore because AI is drafting things and sending them to me. Like this meeting that we are having, when we are done, AI will summarize everything that we said. You see,
yeah.
so it will eliminate some jobs, but it will create some jobs. What you need to do is to prepare your kids, especially because some of us are too old to go back, but prepare your kids to be able to take advantage of the future jobs and not the ones that we made. Listen, pastors these days are preaching sermons written by AI. Okay. I don't know if they're using AI to interpret prophecies yet, but they are preaching sermons written by AI. I have been in a meeting where the whole conference that we're doing was crafted by AI.
Right.
Yeah. So listen, don't take it for granted if you can. And with kids, the best time to train them is when they are young because that's when you are actually giving them the tools they need to be who you want them to be. So yeah, so we are doing that. The technological part, we are taking care of it. And the good thing is that we are not keeping it here in the US. We are saying that regardless of where you are, you can join some of these programs and some of our classes so that you can also take advantage of it. And we will try to do the costing in such a way that it will take into consideration your background so that you can afford to be part of this technological clubs that we are setting up.
Oh, wow. That's great. We've had a long conversation, and I mean, we are wrapping up. Before I let you speak your final words to us, I would like to ask you, someone is watching, someone is listening, or later someone will come back to listen to this conversation. If someone is interested in applying for the Aspire Skill Hub scholarship or any of the training, what's the process?
So for now, you send us an email, info
Okay.
at aspireskillshub.com. Okay? You just send us that email. We are updating our platform, our website, such that so that you can do about 100% of the work remotely. So you don't even have to do the email. You can go to the website and then fill the form and submit all those things so that we can cut the wait time, make it very short. Okay. So for now, do that. Just send us an email. We have a channel, a WhatsApp channel. I don't like WhatsApp groups because we used to do that and people used to do things that we didn't appreciate. So what we do now is we have a channel where we constantly update. And so I will add the link to this video so that people can join that channel. Are you on that channel?
Okay. Yes, I think so. I am
Okay.
on.
All right. So yeah,
I
so
think I joined.
we will do that so
Yeah.
that people can, and then we are on all social media platforms. Aspire Skills.
Yeah.
We have a YouTube, we have Instagram, we have Twitter. I didn't even know we had that, but yesterday I was briefed. We have the Twitter account we've had for years. We have Facebook where we are very active. Follow us on all these platforms, and definitely, if you are a serious person, you're looking for opportunities, you'll find one because
Okay.
we've restructured it so that everybody can benefit from it. So thank you.
You're welcome. Do you have any final advice you want to share with anybody interested in applying for
Yeah,
any of your scholarship?
any of our programs, scholarships,
Yeah,
training.
scholarship,
If you are a nurse
everything.
who is trying to relocate, all those things, Priscilla,
Yeah.
I would like for you to interview me again because I've enjoyed this. But we will try to take it one by one of all the programs
Okay.
so that we can actually do due diligence to each one of them. Okay, so we will talk on the back end and see how we can do this again. But just look out for, I think on the 14th of November, we are coming up with an updated version of our website. We'll give all the information needed. I think that if you are a very serious person and you want to do something, especially if you want to get educated so you can meet future demands, we have something for you. Okay?
Okay.
And what we have for
Okay.
you isn't something that we just sat down and decided this is what is good for you, but it's what you want to do that we are assisting you to achieve. So just reach out and we'll be more than happy to assist you. Just reach out.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Kwame Frimpong, for spending time with us. And thank you, Aspire Skill Hub, too, for your works and your continuous, impact on our lives. And to our lovely audience, thank you for being part of this engaging session. We hope today's discussion has deepened your understanding of Aspire's mission and has also inspired you to take full advantage of the opportunities they offer. Once again, thank you all for joining us, and we look forward to many more impactful conversations ahead. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.